If you were looking for movement freedom, PJ is the person to look towards. I've been in so much pain as a young athlete with severe scoliosis. I'm 10 degrees behind where they start going for spinal fusion. And, people who are 20 degrees, even 10 degrees, have trouble just even running, let alone picking everyday objects up off the floor. And I'm over here blessed with the ability to have side bend with 55 pounds and just do all these amazing feats that even people who don't have any of these quote unquote, what one would say, disabilities, I'm able to achieve. And I thank and put a lot of that towards God, but also God showing me who PJ was and getting to work with him, because how detailed PJ is. PJ is probably one of the most detailed people I know. My first time sitting in form footage, I thought I was just gonna get a few little tips in there, and honestly, I'm not even gonna front. I thought I was gonna get praise because I've always been somebody who is really focused on technique. I thought I was gonna get a pat on the back for how good my technique was, but PJ went in a very respectful manner. He just detailed out everything that I could have done that much little better, and it really made all the difference because my first front split workout, I went from not being able to touch the ground to being able to touch the ground the next week. Granted, yes, I have had the front splits before, but I've never really owned the range. I've never really kept it and been able to really secure it the way I have been with PJ. And it made all the difference and just excited me for this new way of training, because I've done different range training, but I've never done range training so detailed and just with so much passion and love that PJ brought to the table. I mean, everywhere from my back extension, from pull-ups to side bends to Jefferson curls to squat to my glute ham raise to my dips to my behind the neck press. I was able to do all these movements. I couldn't even really behind the neck press because of shoulder pain, with scoliosis being in my lower and upper back, and I finally was able to. Never could even dip below parallel, let alone two parallel, but really before, because my shoulders would feel like they're about to tear and rip all around the collarbone. But I was able to with PJ. I just had these crazy feats that were of strength that I've never really had before, and something that I've owned. You know, it's one thing to be able to do something. It's another thing to be able to own it and own it. And PJ is not a person to mess around with, in a sense, or to look over with, because he is going to give his best effort to you. And this is something I experienced. He has helped me tremendously from everywhere, from my lifts to my flexibility. He has brought that new little edge and that new push and that precise detail, just that little detail that you wouldn't think is that important, but really adds to the total picture. It really makes it where it is close to what perfection would be. I've had so many blessings working with him. I've even achieved barbell back squatting, and before I started playing around with a bar on my back, because before I couldn't even put 15 pounds on the bar and put it on my back, because my back would just feel so compressed and it would feel so tight and it would just hurt. And I could never really load up weight on there well. But with PJ, I got up to a 45 and I believe it was a 25 on an ATG squat for reps with fair, decent control, pause at the bottom. And that's something that I never really even dreamed to do. And I had people walking up to me, shaking my hand in the gym, asking who I was and, why I do the training the way I do. And I tell them I have scoliosis, and they're shocked, and they back up and like, you don't got scoliosis, because they see me doing these crazy things that they can't even imagine themselves doing. The same with different athletes at my school. I mean, some of these people just think it's a crazy freak ability, but it's a crazy freak ability that I've gained and I've owned thanks to PJ. It's stuff that I tried visualizing and couldn't see that I'm now able to do, all thanks to PJ. And I'm just beyond grateful, and I gotta thank him. And if you're really interested in movement freedom, PJ is the guy to go for real.